Good evening, YouTube, and welcome back to another edition of Paisano's Music and Vinyl Talk. I am your host, Paisano. Tonight, we're going to talk about an American rock and roll band by the name of Blue Oyster Cult. One of America's greats, from Long Island, New York. This was their third studio album called Secret Treaties. Some very good times were yet to come for this group. In the late 70s, they had some big smashes around 1970, between 1978 and 1980. They had some very good selling albums. But this was, they had a very good foundation. Their first three albums, two before this, were outstanding. I mean, this is a great rock and roll record. Led by Donald Buck Dharma Roser, he was the lead guitarist. Eric Bloom on lead vocals. Albert Bouchard on drums. Joe Bouchard on bass and vocals, and Alan Lanier on keyboards, rhythm guitars, and all synthesizers. This came out in 1974. Some awesome solos by Buck Dharma on this one. What kind of set Blue Oyster Cult apart were their lyrics. They had some very interesting lyrics, very in-depth on some very interesting subjects, not typical rock and roll subjects. They weren't all sex, drugs, and rock and roll, that's for sure. They were some very interesting lyrics, and it kind of set them apart. This album had a little bit of a bass-heavy mix on it. I think it could have sounded a little bit better. It was produced by Murray Krugman and Sandy Pearlman. The engineer was Tim Geelan. Second engineer, Jerry Smith. And recordists Lehman Yates and Lou Schlossberger. I don't know any of those people, but it could have had a little bit better production, in my opinion. Sounded a little muddy, definitely a little bass heavy. Let's go over the track listing. Starts off with a Patti Smith cover, "The Career of Evil." Next up is Subhuman. And then you got the 1-2 punch of Dominance and Submission and ME-262. Two Blue Oyster Cult classics. Those two appeared on any greatest hits collection you could ever want on Blue Oyster Cult. Those were two biggies in their career. Side 2 kicks off with KG Cretans, Harvester of Eyes, Flaming Telepaths, and finishes up with Astronomy, another one that will find its way onto any greatest hits concerning the band. But this came out on Columbia. This is a reissue. I bought it in the mid-'80s, most likely from... I'm going to say I probably bought this one at the Strawberries down at the South Shore Plaza. That's just a guess. Bought it more than probably 35 years ago at least. But Blue Oyster Cult was strictly on Columbia/CBS for their entire career, I'm pretty sure. There's a look at the label, your classic Columbia label. And yeah, it's one I've enjoyed for a long time. I've owned it for a long time. And like I said, better things were yet to come for this group. Great American rock band, right up there with Aerosmith and Jay Giles and any other great American rock band you want to bring up. Blue Oyster Cult was right there. If I could get the album back in there. Ay. The struggle is real, people. Here we go. In you go. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. What will Paisano dig up next week? Tune in, find out. Good night, you too.